Okay, today I'm going to be talking about growth and recovery of the bald eagle population in Oklahoma. But first we're going to watch a video over the bald eagle.
Just 2 miles outside of the small town of Perkins, it's a quiet refuge for wildlife. The Iowa tribe built this place 4 years ago to give injured eagles a place to go. Some of the birds will be rehabilitated and released back into the wild. Others cannot be released because of their injuries. And if it weren't for the Eagle Refuge, they would be euthanized.
So that's our goal, is give these guys a home and try to give them some quality of life and let them live out their days. And then as they molt their feathers, we'll collect them and get them out to our tribal members for their use in their ceremonies and religious ceremonies and dance ceremonies.
Vic Rubidoux is the wildlife manager at the Gray Snow Eagle House. He says the feathers are very important to Native Americans because the eagle is a sacred symbol.
We believe in our tribe, and like other tribes, that we believe the eagle is the only one that's seen the face of the Creator. And so for us to take those injured birds in, get them well, release them back out in the wild where they belong, is we believe then the Creator's going to bless us, bless our people for doing that.
And visitors agree. People have come from all over the world to visit the unique Eagle Refuge. This couple is here from Chandler to see the eagles up close.
They're very spiritual to me and very majestic. And this looks like an awesome place. I mean, just looking at them in here, I can look at them right there, just sitting right there, and they kind of give me goosebumps.
There are 19 birds here today that have been rescued from all over the country. Bald eagles that have been shot by careless hunters, and golden eagles.
These two came to us from the rehabber in Price, Utah. And they have a lot of golden eagles up there, and a lot of injuries due to the coal mining industry. The one on the right was found, but he flew into a big dump truck hauling coal. And the one on the left got caught between the two cars on a train, and when he went down, well, the train ran over his wing, and they found him, and they had to amputate his wing.
He says the golden eagle typically prefers cooler climates and in Oklahoma can only be found in the Panhandle. But these injured birds will now call this their home. Rubidoux says they're turning away rescued eagles because of limited space. He says one of the things that stops other tribes from building an eagle refuge like this one is getting qualified people to take care of the birds.
The dedication, you have to be here, 7 days a week. They don't know when it's Thanksgiving. They don't know anything. It's just they need to be fed. They need to have their house needs to be cleaned. Their water needs to be changed out. And you got to watch them, because in their world as raptors, they won't show any signs of weakness until it's almost too late.
For this eagle caretaker, it's been a rewarding experience taking care of these sacred creatures, but it's also been a learning experience.
We can learn a lot from the wildlife. It always gets me when people say dumb animals. They're just not aware of what they can teach you. They can teach you a lot of things just by observing them and watching them. And these birds are very smart.
The Gray Snow Eagle House is open to the public, but they encourage folks to call ahead of time and make an appointment for guided tours. For the Oklahoma News Report, I'm Angela Rosecrans.
The bald eagle's scientific name is Haliaetus leucocephalus. In 1995, the species' federal status was changed from endangered to threatened because of its increased population size and improved reproduction. Although many bald eagles occur in Oklahoma during the winter months, it is not a common nesting species in recent years, with no more than one known occupied nest per year from 1950 to 1990. From 1984 to 1990, 90 nesting bald eagles originating from Florida were released by hacking in Oklahoma. Hacking is a release method in which young raptors are placed in a shelter in the release area and provided with food until they fledge and are independent. Fledging is when birds develop wing feathers that are large enough for flight. The study area encompassed all of Oklahoma. Reports came from all of the following: state and federal agencies, private individuals, especially landowners, and the public media. Some nests were found while conducting aerial surveys to check known eagle breeding areas. There can be a month or more difference in timing of reproductive stages among breeding pairs. In Oklahoma, surveys began in mid-January. A clutch is a group of bird eggs fertilized at the same time, typically laid in a single session. Most of the breeding areas were observed by plane. The observer was specifically designed for wildlife counts and observation. It has a high wing, low minimum airspeed operating limit, and a plastic observation nose cone to facilitate passenger visibility. The remainder of the breeding areas were checked by foot or by kayak. Additional historical occupancy and productivity data came from members of the public, usually landowners, who reported nests. An occupied nest was one with a pair of eagles present. Usually, this was 2 eagles in adult plumage, but bald eagles can breed as young as 3 years old. An active nest was one in which eggs were laid. A successful nest was one where at least one young eagle fledged. A few occupied nests reported were attended by a pair of adults that failed to lay eggs and left the nest area about the time migrant eagles leave Oklahoma. We'll look at Figure 1. The bald eagle's population has increased steadily in Oklahoma since 1990. In Figure 2, the productivity was highly positively correlated to nesting effort. In Table 1, and the number of fledglings per productive nest has remained steady. From 1950 through 1990, only a few bald eagles were known to have bred successfully in Oklahoma. After 1990 and the introduction over a 6-year period of 90 translocated bald eagles, the number of breeding pairs and young fledged increased during the next 14 years. All released eagles were banded with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service aluminum bands and larger plastic auxiliary marker leg bands. This is the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service webpage on the bald eagle. According to this page, the listing status of the bald eagle is delisted due to recovery, and according to my article, the recent increases in the bald eagle nesting population in Oklahoma are due to the increase in favorable habitat, namely the impoundments of rivers to create reservoirs. As of 2003, the population of Oklahoma nesting eagles was 4 times greater than the number suggested as the recovery goal by Northern States Bald Eagle Recovery Team. The population surpassed the recommended recovery level of 10 occupied nests in 1994, and the annual productivity goal of at least 1 young fledged per nest has been reached every year since 1991. Hope you enjoyed my screencast. Thanks for watching.